This is your boy Leon D. We're going to talk about a lot of things on this podcast, primarily food. I like to talk about food a lot, but we're going to talk about food around the world. We're going to talk about some other things that's going to touch your heart or make you mad. It really don't matter, but I'm going to tell you about it though. DJ Leon D. Peace. Let's get it on. This is your boy DJ Leon D. We talking about smokers and where should you buy them from. Let's get right into it. Where should you buy your smokers from? It's a huge difference. I'm going to tell you today about the difference in them and why I shop at one place versus another place, and why you may not want to shop where I shop at to get yours. And you can, and you can, hear me out. Hear me out. I'm gonna tell you why. Now, you got a lot of different stores that sell smokers and grills. You got Ace. You got Costco. You got Lowe's. Yeah. Here's the problem. A lot of manufacturers only sell to one national chain. Traeger sells to more than one. And when I say national chain, I'm talking about these big box stores, and whether you want a grill or a smoker or a pellet versus charcoal, that's all on you. Because the price point on most of the smokers and grills, it doesn't really matter where you get it from as far as price goes. And most of them will price match if you don't see yours on there, or if they have one that a competitor has. Most of them will price match. Yeah, they'll price match. Now, here's the big difference. Some stores will put things on sale. Some never put them on sale. I've seen Lowe's put things on sale, but Lowe's carry different brands than Home Depot. They carry different brands, and now I buy my smokers and grills based on functionality. It's got to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I buy mine based on functionality. And what I mean by that, if I want a lot of cooking space, I buy certain things. If you want a lot of cooking space, you probably come out better with a charcoal. I tend to buy pellet smokers because I like that smoky flavor, but you're gonna get smoke from any of the charcoal. Charcoal is probably a better smoke, but not that much better. So, when you think about what you want to buy, you gotta think about it. You gotta think about it in a way that's gonna satisfy your needs. But when it comes to price, the price isn't that much difference. And when they have sales, that sale is normally across the entire country. So, that's not a big deal. You also got Bass Pro Shop that sell smokers and sell, grills as well. Now, here's the biggest difference in all of them. Like I said, the price isn't going to be that much. The biggest difference is the quality of service you're going to get. And what I mean by that is that warranty factors into all that. If something breaks, what's going to happen? Will they come and repair it, or do I got to mail it to the manufacturer, which is damn near impossible, because you can't mail back a 400-pound smoker, because if you get a smoker, especially a smoker, it's gonna be heavy. Whether it's Camp Chef, is there anybody locally who can fix my problem? Generally, there is, but smokers don't normally have, well, I don't want to say it backwards. Smokers are going to have problems at some point. Now, grills normally don't, because they don't use electricity. Nope, they normally don't. They use propane or charcoal or whatever you want to use. They don't normally have problems. They're going to last you 500 years. So is the smoker. You can take an oil can, an oil barrel, cut it in half, make it a smoker. There's nothing put in there but just charcoal and food. And you're going to be good to go for a long time. Now, when you get indirect and all these other type of things, you got electronics in there. And everybody knows some things electronically goes bad sooner than others. Some don't. I got old receivers that was made in the not 1700s, but the 1970s that still worked the way it was designed to work the day I bought it, or whoever bought it. It wasn't me, I was too young, but whoever bought it, it still works. My dad was giving me TVs. I still got a Sony TV that I had when I was like 8 or 9 years old that still works to this day. I mean, still works to this day. But let me tell you, but let me get down into the nuts and bolts of why I'm posting this video. Because people have asked me, where would you buy your smoker at or your grill at? Whether it's a Blackstone, whether it's a Traeger, whether it's a Camp Chef, wherever have you. People have asked me, where would I get mine at? Now, here's where I get mine at. If you go to Cotsco and you buy a smoker or a grill, you're never going to have the same exact model as the one in a Lowe's or Home Depot or Bass Pro Outdoor. You're not going to have the same model. You're going to have a model that's damn near the same, though. Yeah, it's a big difference because then they ain't got a price match. They ain't got a price match. You can have, a smoker 6U. They got 6U too. It's like TVs. The model they have is just slightly different than the one you're going to see in Best Buy. It's just a little bit, functions the same size, same remote, same everything. They're going to add one other character to it or one different character just so they ain't got a price match to the exact same model. And that's just common sense. They've been doing that for years. But it's more to it than just that. And what I mean by that, you can go to Ace and say, I want an Ironwood, Traeger Ironwood. You go to Costco, they got a Silverton. It's the exact same damn thing. They know it. You look at them like, you ask the sales guy, what's the difference? They can't tell you because there is no difference. They can't tell you. And they all use the same app. Traeger app is Traeger app. They all use the same app. Same function. Now, here's where the big difference comes in at. The warranty. Costco, like I said earlier, the Silverton and Ironwood that's sold at Aces, at Home Depot, exact same. But what Costco's going to do is give you the additional year warranty. That's what Costco's going to do. So if the manufacturer gives you 1 year warranty and Costco gives you an additional year, you got 2 years warranty. You're not going to get that at Home Depot or Bass Pro Outdoor. You're not getting that. Nope. It ain't going to work that way. But here's another difference. See, everything got a pro and con. Costco, you got to take that home and assemble it. Yeah. You got to take that heavy-ass 300-pound grill home and assemble it yourself and burn up a whole day of frustration. Yep, you're going to do that. Follow the instructions. You're going to miss out on something. You got to get through completing, building it. You're happy, you're ready to fire it up. And you're going to ask yourself, where do these other 3 screws go? Because they don't give you leftover anything when you take things home to buy. Everything that's left over costs the company, the manufacturer, a penny. It's an additional penny. They're not going to give it to you. Now, like I said, you got to go home and assemble it yourself if you get it from Costco. But you get additional year warranty. Where I live, Ace and other places, if your smoker grill costs a certain amount of money, like over, I think it's $500, they are going to deliver it built, ready to go. I got lots of experience doing that. Yeah, they're going to do that. So do you want to assemble it yourself and get an additional year warranty? Or do you want to not assemble it yourself and lose out on the additional year warranty, but it's built and ready to go, and you can test it out in front of the people who delivered it? Because 300 to 400 pounds, it's a lot of weight. I can tell you right now. And fat people can tell you that's not a lot of weight at all. But us who are not fat, that's a lot of weight. It is what it is, just a lot of weight. You're just fat. So that's the biggest difference. You got to ask yourself, and I have assembled Camp Chefs many times. I've assembled Traegers many times for myself and for friends. I've done a Blackstone. I've done a Louisiana grill. Yes, I've assembled all of them. And it's not fun. And if they were not good friends, I would have never did it. But they are not fun to put together. I'm going to tell you the biggest reason why. You got to lift and carry that big ass box. But not only that, you got to have a lot of room to assemble things too. Just because when you finish, like it's small, it don't mean when you put it together, it's small. No. You need space. You need room. You need to be able to lay everything out. Luckily, I got a large deck. And then that brings in the weather. Because my wife ain't going to let me put it together in the living room. I got a large living room. I got a large family room. I ain't messing it up on a grill. And then sometimes you get grills that comes from these places that's already assembled, and you find out it's been used already. You find out it's been used. So buy it in the box. Luckily, I go to the same store for my Traegers, my Camp Chefs. They know me. I know them. They know what I expect, and they know I will call them and say, come get your shit. Someone's used mine. Because mine, this is not mine. Because this has been used. Yeah. Now, here's another big advantage of Cotsco. Cotsco, they don't deliver. You got to bring it back. But here's the beauty of it. You don't need a receipt to bring it back. Other stores, you got to either need the receipt or know which credit card you charged it on. And if you got more than one credit card, you got to ask yourself, because I have a points credit card and I have an everyday credit card. It all depends on what I'm doing. One is a cash back, one is a points credit card. Depends on, do I need the points today or do I not need them today? It all depends on what it is you're doing. That determines which credit card I use. Yes, it do. That determines which credit card I use. And sometimes I may say, did I use this for points or did I get a cash back? Because when you're getting 3 and 4% back, that's almost like paying the taxes in the state of Maryland. So I have to ask myself, Costco, you ain't got to do none of that. You say I bought it, they look it up. Yep, you bought it. Here you go. Do you want a refund? You want cash? You want put it back in your credit card? How do you want us to do it? Costco don't care. And now, I've never bought a grill from Sam's Club because Walmart return policies are difficult in most cases. And I'm not a Walmart person anyway. And Walmart likes to have their own brand and stuff. Yeah, they like to have their own brand. And I just can't imagine Walmart brand being very, very, very good. Because I know it ain't Traeger making it for them and slapping a Walmart brand. No. So those are things you got to ask yourself. Those are things you just got to ask yourself, what's more important to me? Because I know how to fix a lot of smokers. That extra year warranty, I really don't worry about it. I just don't. I've never had that as an issue. Because I also, it's not going to take back a 300-pound smoker. It's like Blackstone. I'm not carrying that big old heavy thing back to the damn store. And Costco will try and solve your problem over the phone, which is fine. My aches will come out to my house and tear apart my smoker and put it back together. I've never had that problem, but I know people like my neighbor. He's always screwing things up. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed. But when he screwed his up, they came out, disassembled it, and reassembled it, and it worked. No problem at all. And I told them from the very beginning, the problem was not the smoker. The problem was him. The problem was him. So those are things that you got to ask yourself when you're doing all this work. When you're doing all this work, what's more valuable? The time, the warranty, because the price is all the same. And for some guys, they like doing projects. Every woman does a project. It's called us, guys. We are all their projects. But some guys say, hey, you know what? I like doing it. And some people think I can do it. I can put together a smoker better than the manufacturer. Some people believe that. and generally those are the ones who are calling in saying, I can't get it to work, but I have never bought a smoker that I didn't get at least 8 years out of. Never did that. Don't see it happening now because they are better smokers, easier to put together, more efficient than the ones I bought, 15, 20 years ago. So, and plus I like my time. Taking a smoker back, it's a lot of work. You gotta have a truck. Luckily I have those. I have 3 of them, but it's just work. So you gotta go ask yourself, what's the most valuable thing? So getting it from a big box store or some neighborhood Ace, you got to say, what's important to me? Ace versus Cotsco versus Bass Pro. What's more important to me? Because like I said, and then I get Ace points. I can go to Costco and get something similar. They all got their benefits. Don't get me wrong. They all got their benefits. Masterbuilt, those are not complicated. They're just not very reliable. I don't know anybody who's had a Masterbuilt for 4 or 5 years. Most people buy one and all I hear is, this is the last time I'm ever going to buy a Masterbuilt. But my point is, it's not about Masterbuilt or about Traeger or about Blackstone or about Camp Chef or about Louisiana Grills. It's not about any of those. It's about, where do you feel most comfortable? Costco return policy is just hard to beat. It's very hard to beat. Matter of fact, you can't beat it. Costco tells you from the very beginning, the fact is, I don't need a receipt, so I don't need to play all those games. You go to Lowe's, and Lowe's only sells certain brands of things, and if you go in there and return something, I've not had a lot of problems with Lowe's, but my point is, they want to know which credit card, you have a receipt, you ain't got to have all that, just one or the other, and Costco, they never asked me for it, they said, hey, I found it, I looked it up, we're going to return your money to this credit card. I'm out the store in 2 minutes. That's all I want. Lowe's, it's not quite that simple. And so you want simplicity over anything else, then, Costco's the place to go. Costco is your place. So like I said, they all got their good and bad. It's just a matter of what makes you feel better. I get friends, everything they buy is from Costco. I got friends who don't eat half a box of damn grapes, find one rotten one, take the other half back and get a full refund. I got friends who have done that. I'm thinking, seriously, dude, you done ate 5 pounds of damn grapes around here, and now you worry about the one neck. Hey, first of all, you're fat anyway, so you don't need to be eating no way. That croissant is not bad. You add additional butter to it and burnt it. It did not burn itself. It didn't come like that from Costco. Costco knows that. Now you got Costco sitting there saying, we're going to change our return policy because there's one fat person who just can't get enough. Yeah. I get frustrated when I see people return things that ain't nothing wrong with them. It's kind of like my cousins. They used to go to a store called Belk Lindsay down in Florida. They go get clothes on Thursday, wear them on Friday, wear them on Saturday, take them back on Sunday. Ain't nothing wrong with the clothes. Clothes ain't too damn small. You too damn big. You should have known what size you were before you went in the store to get them. So don't pretend like the store made you get fat. That's not what happened. You were fat when you was born. They didn't push you out. They cut my under half. So back to what makes you feel better. Is it a mind? If your mind's set and your mind saying, I need to have this, and this, okay, that's cool. Or do you just feel a lot better because you already know, I feel better because I know for a fact that this, if it doesn't work, I can take it back. But let me say something. If you are a do-it-yourself type person, go to Costco. If you got lots of time, go to Costco. If you want things handmade given to you, basically all the cooking's been done, here go the plate. Go to Ace, go to Bass Pro Outdoor, go to Lowe's, and then you got some of the other smaller places that sell smokers and grills. But let me tell you though, their reputation is not that good. And plus Lowe's and Bass Pro, when you get things delivered, when you get things when you get things delivered to your house, life is easy with those guys because they always ask me what time works best for me. They're not like the cable company. We'll be there between Monday and Friday between 8 and 8. No, they're not like that. They are very, very good. They like I said, because it's being pre-assembled. It's already been pre-assembled, or I'm sorry, they're gonna assemble it before they bring it. All they gotta do is bring it on a truck. And they got somebody in the back, usually a manager or general manager, especially if you got an expensive one. You want to make sure you're not going to return that one. If you got one that's very, very cheap, he don't give a damn if you return it or not. But remember, they're making commissions or their profits ain't good when they return stuff because they got to ship that thing. They got to disassemble it and ship it back to the manufacturer. They don't want to go through none of that either. They want to be just like me and you. They want everything to work right out of the gate. So I tell people all the time. So when people ask me, I said, what time do you got? How confident you can put it together? When you got to use it by? I have ordered smokers and I say, listen, I want this delivered on this date, this time, because I'm having a barbecue on Saturday. Never have I not got it by the time and date I wanted it. Never. I've got one at 8 o'clock at night because the store closes at 9. Never have I ever had a problem. When you're doing it yourself, man, you don't know when you're going to finish. Believe me, I've done a lot of them. And Camp Chef is an easy one to put together. It's easy. But remember, smokers is more difficult because you got moving parts. Grills are easy because you got no moving parts. Matter of fact, I put together a grill about 2 weeks ago with no wheels on it. The guy said, I'm never going to move it again. Take the wheels off. No, he said, don't put the wheels on. I said, cool. And that's an easy fix. It's a very, very easy fix. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know what's best for you. I know what's best for me. And the bottom line for me is simple. I want it ready to use the day it gets it. It's like buying a new car and someone says, I'm going to bring the wheels out later or the steering wheel tomorrow. No. And then when you put things together yourself, you always feel like you're missing something. When it comes ready to go, I fire and test it out in front of the delivery people so that if there's a problem, they can tell me, hey, listen, this doesn't work out of the box. I've had a manager come and say, oh yeah, we forgot the ash bucket. Well, hell, you look at every picture they show, they got an ash bucket. When you get through, and actually the guy had it, he just left it. He just forgot it in the store. He went back 8 miles, brought it back. And I was cool with that. I was cool. But I knew he was missing it because one of the things I thought about was ordering additional ash buckets. I like to have spare parts laying around. So if I need them, I got them. So this is your boy, DJ Leon D. Should you shop at Ace, Bass Pro, Lowe's, Home Depot, Costco, Sam's Club, where should you get it from? I always get it from the neighborhood Ace or the neighborhood little store around the corner that has a good reputation. One that I know, one that I feel good about. I always get it from those guys. I don't get it from Costco and stuff. And plus Costco, like I said, they're never gonna have the same brand. I mean, they have the same brand, but not the exact same model. They're not gonna have the exact same model. That model is gonna have one extra digit or one different digit. So there's no way you're gonna compare apples and apples. In the old days, that was never the case, but now it's always the case. But this is your boy DJ Leon D saying, hey, I'm out.